Welcome back to Piano Unlimited. This is PianoTurtle. Today we discuss a little bit about rhythm, and then I will share my thoughts on two very different approaches in piano training. Okay? In episode 1, I spoke about reading notes in multiple clefs. In episode 2, we naturally played with both hands a popular tune. But I did a sneaky thing. I actually also taught basic rhythm in episode 2. Compound teaching was offered, and by that I mean I taught without you knowing I taught. In episode 2, I didn't just teach hand, mind, eye coordination. I also taught rhythm, using the words such as rest, comma, hold. For those of you who followed along episode 2, tutorial 2, you most likely got the rhythm as well, because look, you guys already know a bunch of things before I even started showing you the tutorial. We naturally have a sense of rhythm. I really do believe that. I see many sing along with music on the radio, and I have seen crowds clap along to songs and music with basic rhythm. Yes, all rhythm is built upon a pulse or a beat. And from that, we can manipulate that beat. We can speed up, slow down, group it basically into 4 beats or 3, and then we can double the speed or go twice as slow. About rhythm, in this tutorial, there's 3 things you probably already know, but should know. All right, number 1, you need to know how to feel the pulse when you walk and count along in groups of 3 or 4. Either walk or imagine you are walking and simply say 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk faster, walk slower, that's up to you, it doesn't matter. That's the first thing. Number 2, imagine the faster beat in between the overall beat. The beat, the imaginary beat in between the steps. For example, 1, 2, 1, and 2. The and is the twice as fast beat in the middle. Okay? Another way to think of it is long beat, short, short, long. Long, long, short, short, long. Now let's mix it up. Long, short, short, long, long. Or slow, fast, fast, slow, slow. Or 1, 2, and 3, 4. If I want to count it all out while clapping, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Instead of clapping hands, I will clap fingers on keys. That's it. That's the difference. Who doesn't know how to clap hands? Just clap your fingertip to the keys. Same thing. Now, here's the thing. How fast or how slow cannot be taught. It cannot be described. Because the way it's described is in math. And in numbers and in, beats per measure. BPM equals this number, that number. And that number represents speed. It doesn't matter how I explain it to you. You're not going to understand it until you feel it. You must feel it. This is auditory. But you know what? In a weird way, you can't shut your ears like you can shut your eyes. Your ears are always open. So the chances of you not knowing rhythm is close to 0. You have heard it. You just haven't related to it. It's safe for me to say you do have a sense of rhythm when you can feel the steadiness of the overall beat and the shorter or faster inner beats. Fancy word alert. We call them subdivisions. And if you can clap steadily, coupled with the feeling of going twice as fast or twice as slow, then you are all set for the piece that I'm about to show you in the next tutorial. No need to go any further. This is it. The concept is over. Very simple. All those fancy names like quarter notes, 8th notes, 16th notes, 32nd notes, 64th notes must exist due to the math of it, but none of that matters. Students tell me they have trouble with 16th notes and beyond. Well, you know what? They're all the same. They're all the same as far as the concept goes. What you need today, right now, what you need is to feel a steady pulse that you can manipulate under your control, either doubling the speed or slowing it back down. How long did it take? Let me know in the comments. And the last thing you need to know is visual. You need to know what a musical comma looks like. Okay, there's a few, but I'm not going to show it to you today. You don't need it. We don't need to go any further to learn a specific classical piece. Why not? Well, let me explain. This is part 2 of the tutorial. I have seen generally 2 systemic approaches when it comes to piano training. The first approach, I call it the tourist's approach. It's a great approach. When we visit a park, we tour. When we go on vacation, we tour, right? Learn many concepts and sample and taste and play some small or tiny piece that demonstrate the concept. Many courses teach topics like notation, rhythm, sitting position, your finger numbers, the musical alphabet, the time signature, followed by short musical examples. For example, the method of Jingle Bells as the final piece teaches all this, right? Here's a picture of the table of contents. You know, I do think the book is wonderfully made with good information. It is the assumed pacing and how long it realistically takes to finish the book, and at what age and all of that's what needs examination. Okay? Yep. The limit is this. After much work and money and time learning these concepts, you end up with very little to show for it, you know? What if just knowing a few things can get you a fun, fantastic piece at the classical level? What if you don't need to know a lot to play a higher level piece? See, that's what I'm going to show you, okay? As far as the book, I repeat, this is not a bad book. No, I offer this solution. Treat the book like a dictionary, a reference, ready to support you when concepts and definitions are needed. And when you pursue concepts and definitions, it's there. The books are there. Treat it like a dictionary, a reference. Okay? All right, now let's talk about the second approach. I will call it the builder's approach, and that is learn only the necessary concepts needed to learn the piece that requires it. I repeat, learn only the necessary concepts needed to learn the piece that requires it. If I want to learn Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 3, I will analyze the piece to see what kind of techniques I need, what kind of vocabulary, musical vocabulary I need, right? And then I will learn it. The concept is the same, the approach is the same regardless of piece. See, that I like. That's more unlimited. You know what? Most play-by-ear courses teach like this. They teach 4 to 6 basic chords, and then all of a sudden, you can play any piece within that level. And because it's in the same level, it will give you a sense that you can play any piece, anytime, anywhere. To reach the masses, and from a business standpoint, it is absolutely brilliant. It is very unlimited. It's a wonderful thing to play unlimited amount of popular tunes that share the same build, the builder's approach. It is wonderful until it stops building. It is wonderful until you want to play Stravinsky's Petrushka by ear. I just said the most unrealistic statement. The odds of learning by ear, the odds of a learn by ear only student wanting to play and sight read one of the most difficult orchestra and piano works and willing to work towards it until it's done is really realistically zero. No chance. So who will want to do that? It's those that are open-minded to the growth mindset. I will grow in this tradition until I can. Some of the time, we want what we can get, and most of the time, we don't know what we want. We are creatures of habit. The mind won't allow it. This is the limitation that we place on the second approach. The approach itself, really, if you think about it, have no limits. since it is the attitude of what it takes to get the job done. What do I need to do to get the job done? And once it's done, we move on to the next project. The limit is placed if we then reduce the project to what we can handle, not raise ourselves up to the level of the project. And we do that so that we don't have to do what it takes to accomplish a project. We build tiny homes rather than mansions. And worse yet, this is what I don't like, is that we criticize the mansions for being what it is. The second approach is actually more natural, more step by step, more focused. We're often less overwhelmed when we know exactly how many steps it takes to get a certain job done. Rarely do we actually learn about the rules of 10 different projects before starting one. When it comes to games, we buy a game, read the rules of the game, and get started. Only of that game. And then we go, right? We're going to explore this builder's approach in time, and I will show you how vast and varied it can be. But for now, step by step we go. In the next tutorial, we'll use a piece as an example.